Attention, brave viewers. This video features adults immersed in a spine-chilling horror RPG experience. The content likely includes supernatural elements, horror-related events, and potentially scenes of violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy. Well, howdy, friends and floor heads. Oh my God, we cannot go this long without playing. For those of you that are watching back-to-back video on demand, I know you just got done watching episode 8 and you're rolling into episode 9, but it's been like 14 years between episode 8 and episode 9. And to make things even worse, we left it on the cliffiest of hangers. So I'm going to take us right there. Where we left off is we had successfully figured out who the killer of the photographer was. We said tomorrow morning, we're going to go ahead and confront him and get him arrested. And once again, the Murder Mavens have solved yet another murder in Brindlewood Bay. Of course, Jackie had a bit of an encounter with this younger doppelganger of hers that turned really crazy. And it ended with this person melting away like candle wax. And then we had Geraldine headed home, driving her motorcycle, and she came upon another motorcycle that had obviously been in an accident, hit a light pole. Being a good person, Geraldine turned the bike around, came back, and realized that it was Gertrude who had had the accident, which was her younger doppelganger that she had met. And she, being a kind person, realizing there was gasoline coming out of the tank, there was flames on this, we had to get Gertrude out of there. So she dragged Gertrude away, and then, being a little suspicious based on what happened to Jackie, she's like, you know what? I'm going to hop on my bike. I'm going to go get some help. Don't move. She hops on her bike, turns it on, starts to roll away, and the bike leaves without her because Gertrude grabs the back of her jacket and throws her to the ground as your motorcycle veers off and falls down ahead of you. You roll over, and standing above you is Gertrude. She's in a black leather jacket with a white undershirt. She's got her sleeve tattoos. The jacket comes off, and things get crazy. We see her t-shirt melt into her skin, and we see her skin turn into this pure white tone. We see her tattoos on her arms and across her shoulders, up her neck, start to move and gestate. And the small bowler cap helmet she wore morphs into this bike chain crown. And she looks down at you, Geraldine, and she says, "You have to stop." And Geraldine said,
"Okay, I'll stop. That's fine."
So, as you are now flat on your back, with Gertrude being very prescriptive about what you need to do, I am going to need a night move. And my first question for you, Geraldine, is what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail this move?
I am afraid that despite me giving up, Gertrude may attack me, but more so destroy my bike.
Yeah, I think she definitely will, and I'm going to put him in quotation marks, attack you.
Yeah.
I don't see your bike coming out of this if you fail this roll. I think it's a good chance we lose the bike, but it's going to be worse than that because she's going to attack you and she's going to leave something behind inside of you.
Oh.
Oh no.
So I need a night move with sensitivity.
All
I
right.
cleared your one condition, so you have no conditions. So this is just a straight roll, a night roll, night move with sensitivity.
Give me a second.
Now,
Can I just put on a crown this early?
well, let's find out what happens first. Because remember, one of the things
Okay.
that's nice is you can decide that after we see it play out.
Okay, let's go.
You're on your back, and as you're saying, okay, what are you physically doing, Geraldine?
I'm physically like trying to like do that crab shuffle backwards, but human.
And you start to scrabble backwards, and suddenly you feel like roots burst out from the ground below you and wrap themselves around your shoulders, stopping you from scurrying away.
Oh God,
And you
no.
look down at Gertrude's feet, and she seems planted into the ground, like she's extended her feet and her toes into the ground and has dug under to pull you closer. She starts to drag you in. She gets you close. She drops down onto one knee, and she starts to kiss you. And it starts off like an innocent, loving, maternal kiss. But then it becomes more. It becomes more, not a maternal kiss, but a lover's kiss. The problem is that whatever is in her mouth, where the tongue is supposed to be, is definitely not a tongue. And you feel it go down your throat and start to engorge your throat. Now you can put on a crown if you want.
Wait, no. I want to use my move. I have a move for this.
Oh, talk to me.
I took the Maven move, B.A. Baracus. So I get to describe what happens instead.
Let's read the rule real quick. Let's read the rule. Do you have it handy?
I have the shorthand. If you want the whole rule, you have to pull it up.
I do, and I think I've got it on your sheet. So let me bring it up here real quick. So let's go to moves. Let's go to B.A. Baracus. All right. Once per mystery, describe how yourself or another Maven narrowly avoids impending harm. So you take control of the narration. She is kissing Geraldine. She's on top of Geraldine, kissing her. Geraldine can feel this wood type thing just going deep inside of her throat.
No. So
No.
Gertrude is going to get the door prize because around the corner comes screaming a little white car, and it comes up, and I throw open the door, and the door just slams right into Gertrude, sends her careening off, and I'm looking down at Geraldine. I'm like, girl, buddy system, we were supposed to stay together. And like I've got nanners actually like belted into the seat next to me, so I wasn't alone. I didn't technically break the rules.
So I absolutely love this. And as we see Gertrude fly, like you send her, she goes flying into the woods. We see this root type thing that was coming out of her mouth go with her. And it does. It looks like a tree root that was coming out of her mouth. We look down as Geraldine gets pulled into the car, and we can see the remnants of her feet and ankles that were broken off as you sent her into the woods. Geraldine, you get pulled into the passenger side. What happens?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Jump over and hug the living shit out of
I told you these doppelgangers, there's something else, and the door's still open, and I'm already
Oh my god. Just drive. I'm gonna like reach over and close the door.
Amazing. All right.
Oh my god.
So the next day, we get a hold of our deputies. We get a hold of the sheriff. We go over to our super fan's house. We lay out all of the clues that point to him, and he confesses as he's locked up, handcuffs on, and he's sent off. A couple days pass, and Elsie, you get a letter that shows up at the shop, at the bookshop. And as soon as you see the return address, a Gayatri Gupta, you let out a little bit of a squee. See, there was an influx of media requests when news broke about how the Murder Mavens solved the murder of Paul Rivera. None so exciting as when you got your letter from Gayatri Gupta, the famous and famously reclusive true crime writer. Gayatri heard about your exploits and hoped to interview the four of you for her next book. So you were invited to join her in her rustic winter home in the cozy vacation area in the mountains of Canada. Now, you had very little direct contact as you were arranging this because Gayatri doesn't talk to a lot of people. And it's not because she's a snob, it's because she's so reclusive. So you mostly made the arrangements with her agent. All communication went through her agent. He's a monotone man, pretty dull guy named John Reginald IV. But he assured you the Gayatri was excited to have you, but she couldn't deal with the quote unquote outside world. So all of the arrangements were going to be made through him. John explained that the trip was long and that the last leg would be completed on a small private plane because the town of Asserton, your destination, is a fly-in community. You can't drive in or drive out of this place. Who has the highest sensitivity of the four of you?
I have +1.
Geraldine has +1. Jackie has +1.
I also have +1.
I have a -1, as we saw from last session.
All right, I need Geraldine, Jackie, and Elsie all roll me a D10. So on the bottom of the die roller, grab that D10, and each of you give me a roll. I want to see who rolls the highest. We got a 4 from Geraldine, a 6 from Jackie. Right at the bottom of the chat. Do you see it? On the bottom right?
No. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, I'm going to roll it for
lame.
you, okay? And
Oh,
you get it.
found it. Oh, got it.
All right,
Yeah.
I beat you to it. All right. Jackie, what happened on the long trip to Canada that you believe to be a bad omen? What lingering question did it leave in your mind?
I think as we were leaving the airport, there were like crows that were keeping pace with us, which is kind of unusual during takeoff because they clear birds out of the way. So the fact that they were keeping pace with us, I just reached over. I didn't say anything. I just closed window.
So what is the question that's lingering in your mind now after seeing this omnistic crows?
I wonder if whatever is in our town is now following us because something seems interested and notices that we've left.
I don't know if the four of you, now I know Maud's been on a private plane before, but I don't know if the four of you have ever been on a 2-propeller plane before, flying through the mountains of Canada. It's pretty harrowing. If you swear to God that every time that the engines kind of go every stutter, you're grabbing the seat and your nails are getting dug in, and it's just a lot more movement than you like to have when you're 5,000 feet in the air. As you pull in, though, as the plane starts to circle the small little airport, you can see the little red light. You can see the makeshift almost runway lights. The mountains are stunning. It's like you've gone to a completely different world, nowhere near the coast of Massachusetts. This is something very, very different. It almost doesn't look real. It's almost like you're looking at a painting, a living painting, as the plane slowly lands. Finally, the wheels settle and you safely get there. And the airport is essentially 2 double wides. The plane pulls up. They drop the stairs down. Elsie, you're the first one to get out. And standing there is somebody who looks exactly like the back of her books. Standing there is Gayatri. She's a woman of Indian descent. She is round is the best word for her, in that friendly, beautiful, round sort of way. She's got this beautiful round face, this endearing smile. She is bundled, as all of you need to be, because it's cold and the wind hits you as soon as you start stepping down the small stairs out of this little 2-prop plane. And she's got a bundle of flowers. And she comes up to you, Elsie, and she goes, "I'm so honored that you've come."
Oh my goodness. I'm such a fan. Thanks for having us. This is wow. Wow.
This is a special place. This is a special place, and I write best when I'm alone, and here I am. I'm truly alone. Even the people in the town respect that and leave me be, which is wonderful. But I see the rest of the Mavens are here, and do you mind introducing me?
Oh, no. Girls, come on. This is Geraldine and Jackie and Maud.
And Maud looks miserable. Maud is bundled all the way up. She has her jacket pulled tighter than anyone, and she is still shivering and just, looks absolutely miserable right now.
I'm low key passing my flask to Maud. I got well toasted during the ride.
I am high key passing mine to Geraldine.
And she smirks and nods as she sees the warming from the inside routine ritual that you guys are going through. Maud, she recognizes your face as not being pleased, and she goes, "My dear, this place does take getting used to. I can tell you, my cabin is warm. That's where we're headed. It'll get much, much better. I do promise, but I'm so sorry." And I think as she's saying that, all of you stop for a second and go, "Wait a second. It's like 4:00. And it is black as night." And she says, as she sees you guys kind of looking around and kind of realizing, like, what the hell? She goes, "Oh, my dears, for this time of year, we get maybe 3 or 4 hours of daylight.
That's
Usually, yeah, usually rises around 1:00 in the afternoon, and then it sets again here around 4:00. But again, it's another thing we get used to. But come. Let's get warm. Let's get warm."
Warm, yes.
She walks you to her 1982 refurbished red Bronco, one of those rustic red old 80s Broncos. Bags get thrown in the back. So much room in this thing. She gets the heat cranking and she drives off, and she takes you through the town. Town seems to have maybe 6 or 7 buildings to it. There's no stop signs, no stop lights. She says, I'm going to get you up to the cabin. We're going to get you to your rooms, let you warm up, and then she points to this cafe. She's passed to it. We'll have dinner there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's a long, winding road. There's a couple times as you're on this road headed up to her cabin, or what she refers to as the cabin, where on the right side, it feels like the mountain is right here. It feels like the mountain might scrape against the right side of the Bronco. And at the same time, you can't see the road on the left side. All you see is the vastness of the mountain. It's impossible to really know just how wide this road she's navigating up. But when you pull up to the cabin, everything extends out. You've got this unbelievable snow-covered landscape that's framing this beautiful 2-story, 5,000 square foot estate that she calls a cabin. It's built off an A-frame style. The color of the orange and yellows coming from the windows just makes it look warm. Like you just look at it, you can feel how warm it is inside. It's tall though, it's imposing, and it's built to look like a log cabin, but this is bigger than any house you've seen in Brindlewood Bay, and there's some money in Brindlewood Bay. She helps you. She takes you inside. Part of you thinks maybe she would have help, but she doesn't. She does her best to help you with your bags. As you come in, the main living area has this beautiful, like 10-foot tall stone fireplace, and it is cranking a fire. And you have all of this beautiful old rustic furniture around. It looks like the knotty pine monster came into this cabin and threw up everywhere. There's just knotty pine everywhere. The walls are got a glow from the fire. You see pictures and frames that of all the different true crimes that she's written about, newspaper clippings that she has framed up. I want to paint the scene. As you enter this huge room, what surprises you, Jackie? And what does it reveal about Gatry that you did not expect?
Oh, something that would surprise Jackie. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think maybe she collects something unexpected that's completely outside of the realm of what you might think of someone who does murder mysteries and is always snooping through clippings and whatnot to see what the latest crime is. I want to say it's something really childish. I think that she has like a Disney cartoon collection.
I'm imagining she has got built an entire like showcase in the one corner of the room, and it does not fit. Right? Not only does it not fit the decor, but this corner like glass showcase that she has literally does not fit correctly in the corner of the room. And it is full of her favorite Disney character. So her favorite Disney character is
Snow White.
every depiction of Snow White. You have drawings and sketches of Snow White. You have Funko Pops of Snow White. You've got small statuettes of everything all the way down, except for the middle shelf has a couple dwarves on it. Everything else is all Snow White. And Geraldine, you see it too, and I imagine you and Jackie kind of cutting a look at each other like, didn't expect to see that. But that's not the only thing. There's something that you notice as you came in, Geraldine, that surprised you. And what did it reveal? Oh, actually, what did it reveal about Gatry, Jackie, that you didn't expect? What does this Snow White shrine reveal about her to you?
I think I think I think that Jackie thinks that she must have a lot of grandchildren
Mm.
that actually make it out there. But I think what it says about her in actuality is that she has like some childish wonder type, like guilty pleasures almost. Out here secluded in the middle of nowhere, there might be other strangely childish things strewn about as we're looking around.
She might write about the most gruesome serial killers and murders and just novels and pages of the evils of humanity. But this is a different view of that. There might be another side to Miss Gaytree. All right, Geraldine, what do you notice that surprises you, and what does it tell us about Gaytree?
Oh my gosh, I don't. I've been thinking, and the only thing that comes to mind for me is like having like taxidermy mice in different corners of the house, but they're not just taxidermy. It's like dressed up pose, a small little like different scenes. Like you might have like the Nutcracker scene in one, and then like like a pirate mouse taxidermy in the other, and they're like in little kind of not necessarily. It's hidden in the open corners of the house. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Yep. It's maybe I'm imagining, Geraldine, it's one of those things that you don't notice when you first walk in, and then you see the first one and go, "Is that a real that's a real mouse, and it's has a bow tie on." Okay. And you go through, and it's like her own weird version of the hidden Mickeys at Disney World, right? But she's literally got taxidermied little mice that's doing all of these little scenes. What does that tell us about her?
It kind of tells me about her. Not she Geraldine would think that all like true crime writers aren't, I don't know, funny. Like they're
Mm.
all stiff, where this shows like maybe a warped sense of humor that she wouldn't have expected.
Like a twisted playfulness, maybe?
Like it's, yeah.
Love it. Elsie, I think you pick up on the Snow White. I think you definitely pick up on the taxidermy mice that are hiding behind flower pots. But that's not the only thing that surprises you. What do you happen to notice that surprises you?
Oh man, I keep turning it over in my head, like what exactly would surprise Elsie? Is it a good surprise or a bad surprise? I think that she has like a full-blown 80s style, like turntables and 8-track players and cassette players. Like it's just this wall of sound and music. But all of her music is kind of strange. Like there's a lot of like German electronica or like really underground punk, like obscure kind of music. Like I'm rifling for anything that I might recognize, and
And like
it's
a random Adele album
thing.
between the black
Yeah,
metal.
yeah. Like it is the most widely unrecognizable music collection in Canada.
And she sees you kind of flipping through that, and she goes, You just have to find the right music to write. And so you'll find my collection is pretty eclectic.
It 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 is.
Maud, if it's okay with you, I'm going to put you as close to the fire as possible. As you
Oh
are
yes.
trying to get warm. I just am imagining you going, "Hi, yes, boom, right to the fireplace, and
Mhm.
slowly taking some layers off as you start to thaw out. But yeah, you notice something that surprises you. What does it tell you about her?
So the ceiling of this particular room is sort of vaulted.
Mhm.
And up at the top, like where somebody clearly had to get on ladders and put them up, there are hanging all of these antique swords. And like Maud doesn't know anything about antique swords, but they are very expensive, very rare swords. And I think Maud like looks over and goes, Jackie, look. Because Jackie surely knows about, old and valuable things. But they are all like hanging up in like very particular order. Um, and there's like a slight bit of menace to these swords like hanging above your head. Um, and I think it just adds a sense of like danger, like, like something's off, something to watch out for.
Yeah, something that puts you off pretty big there, Maud, because normally when you see swords displayed, and Jackie's the expert here, but they would be displayed horizontally, right? And they may be
Mhm.
above a fireplace. Each of these are dangling point down
Mhm.
above your heads. And you kind of nudge Jackie, and Jackie, you look up and you look, whoa, okay. But then you realize, holy shit, that one, I saw a portrait of King Charles IV one time in an antique shop, and he was holding that sword. And you start pointing at these, and you start realizing it, and Gayatri comes over and she goes, every one of them was held by a royal at some point in the last 300 years.
It's an interesting collection.
I feel like when I have writer's block, that there's just failure hanging over my head at any
So
point.
you made it quite literal.
I did. And there's something that ties to me about the idea of swords held by tragic kings and queens and princes, and having them hanging over my head. As soon as I start feeling like I've got nothing left in me, I look up and realize, no, I have to keep going or they'll fall on me.
Jackie's doing the smile and nod, but in her head, she's like, this woman certainly has a high opinion of herself.
She takes you to your rooms. You each have your own room. Each of those rooms is about the same square footage as the first floor of the bookstore. Each one of these guest rooms, they are gorgeous king beds, beautifully decorated. With each of them have their own bay window that looks out on the mountainside, the valley side, and you can see the lights of the small town, and it's absolutely breathtaking. She'd let you know that she'll ring the bell, and then she'd love for everybody to hop back into the truck, and would like to take you down for dinner in about 30 minutes. Is there anything the four of you want to do before we cut to the cafe?
I think Jackie's getting comfortable. She's like putting all her stuff away, and she takes out Nanners, and she goes and finds one of the little mouse dioramas, and she puts Nanners down by the mice, and then rearranges them so they're like doing the Godzilla thing. And she just walks away.
And suddenly, even though nothing changed about Nanners, because Nanners is frozen in time, she suddenly becomes menacing looking, right? With these other mice going,
Oh, Nanners.
oh boy. Anybody else want to do anything before we cut to the cafe?
I think Maud is just grumbling because like she's just gotten comfortable. She's just gotten all her stuff. She's gotten warm again, and now she's putting all of her clothes. So there's definitely this scene of Maud just grumbling about, how no one should have to deal with this kind of cold, and this is a place nobody should live. And
Oh, and your scarf! Don't forget your scarf, dear, and the hat,
Yeah, I got it.
Gloves.
Gloves.
Don't forget the gloves.
Yeah.
And boots.
She almost looked like the kid in A Christmas Story, like just
Gotta put a cape on over her coat.
right.
So as she's driving you back down the mountain, you've got on the left side of you now is the mountain, like right there, almost scraping the side of the Bronco, and then nothing to the right side except the town as you're winding down this mountain. You get to this little town. There's people wandering, but you can't see any faces because everybody is hooded and bundled and just trying to stay warm. And you pull up to what she kept referring to as the cafe. I'm going to take you to the cafe. And as you pull up and she parks right next to a huge pile of plowed snow, You realize it's literally called the cafe. Like the sign above says the cafe. And she explains to you that the owner and his wife moved here to this town several years ago, that they like her are from Indian descent, but they also decided to open a cafe that mixes Western Indian cuisine with Inuk indigenous cuisine. And she just kept talking about it on the dress. She's like, you have not had moose with curry. You are just, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna absolutely blow your mind. The five of you walk into the cafe. Nobody's there. You can see the owner standing in the back. She did explain that the wife passed away about 2 years ago. He is one of those people that even before they say something has just a glow about them. There is just a happiness that he exudes as he is behind the counter, and you can see the stew pots and everything that he's cooking. It's obvious that he serves, he cooks, he does everything here. The aroma of strong coffee and spiced pastries just fills your nose as you walk in. You see a big chalkboard where he's written a bunch of Inuk sayings mixed with some Western Indian sayings and how they kind of parallel each other. There's a bunch of two-person tables all around. There's one table in the back corner, and Gayatri says, "Is it?" And he, "Of course, of course, of course." And you guys go back to that corner. Elsie, what do you see in the cafe that tells you that Arjun has created this place as an homage to his dead wife?
Um, well, I mean, there's obviously a large framed photo of them together in front of the restaurant on the day that it opened. And it's like the wife's figure is in full color, while the rest of it is all in black and white, and it's got a small like memorial plaque placed underneath it.
What do you notice, Geraldine?
I want to say the decorations of the shop. It's not something that necessarily he himself would have chosen, but for sure something that his wife loved. So from the colorations to like what napkins, how the napkins are set is an homage to her.
What do you see, Jackie?
I think it's something subtle. I think that in instead of using napkin rings, he actually has like the big table, the big cloths you usually put in like your lap, and they're held by like bangles, like traditional Indian bangles.
I love that. Maud,
I do
what
too.
little tribute to his wife do you notice?
There is a like small, almost like a community shrine, where the locals have. He's put a picture of her. It's actually them at their wedding, and the locals have arranged like these very like sweet little memos and things that he has left. And it's been a couple of years, but he clearly hasn't moved any of them. He's left them exactly where they are.
The whole place is love. Love is the word that just that you feel when you're there, and it's his love of food, his love of hospitality, his love for his wife. He makes eye contact with Gayatri and kind of gives a knowing look, and she goes, "Yeah, yes, yes, just surprise us." And he brings out the first of what appears to be several course meal, small little appetizers and some drinks, and it's this unbelievable mixture of local sourced meats and breads, but it has this Western Indian angle to it, a spice that you pick up as even the coffee has just a little bit of a hint that tells you that this is a fusion made from love by this man. Gayatri talks about how she moved here, and this has really been when she got her first success coming here was what made the difference, and it's allowed her to be so prolific in her writings. But she says when there's a little bit of a downtime, when things get a little quiet, I haven't been totally honest with you. I definitely want to write about you. I definitely want to interview you. I definitely would love to really not only, talk about the murders that happened at the Great Bake Off, but she kind of looks around. She goes, it started with just pets. Cats would go missing. Pet birds would go missing. It started about 4 weeks ago. We're now at 3 children gone. And we don't know where they're going. They're vanishing. There's not many people here. And I can't get anybody's attention. And I've been following the 4 of you so closely in the paper. And I was hoping that the 4 of you, there's a scream that comes from outside as she's talking.
Jump up and run.
Yeah, I think Maud is on the way too.
I begrudgingly get up and go.
Yeah, I'm reaching for like another like one of the little moose
Right.
appetizers.
I'm
but,
like,
surprisingly, like I'm stuffing my face as we're walking.
So you come out and the warmth of the inside is blasted by the cold of the outside. You'd only been in there for about 30 minutes, but had already forgotten just how cold it is outside. And as you get out to the street, and Gayatri is saying, we'll be right back. We'll be right back. The echo of the scream is fading away. And in the middle of the street, you see these large, borderline inhuman footprints. And they're all stamped around a hula hoop sized puddle of blood that's starting to freeze. And Gayatri
You
gets
said
out there.
missing, not eaten. There's a difference.
Gayatri goes out there and she goes, oh my God. I think it's getting worse.
You think?
So this is sweeps week. Now, normally, what I confront my mavens with at this point is a dead body. But this is a little bit different. They are not necessarily looking for a suspect. What they need to do is they need to answer a series of questions in order to figure out what the hell is going on in this little Canadian mountain town. So the first question that you need to answer, it's complexity 4, works the same as the complexities on the murder mysteries, right? The first question is, are these disappearances the work of a beast or a human? When you've gathered enough clues where you're able to answer that question, we'll do a theorized move to see if you're right. And when that happens, you will unlock the next question. In the meantime, as the 4 mavens and our true crime writer are looking at this pool of blood as it's freezing, surrounded by these abnormally large, almost inhuman-sized footprints, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be right back. So as the 4 of you plus Gayatri are standing there in the bitter cold, seeing these footprints, and they seem to be like like matted and all around in the middle of the road, and they're already starting to fill with the snow that's falling, and you can already see this large pool of blood as it starts to freeze very quickly from across the street, coming out of the what looks to be like a medical office of some sort. You see a man. He's got short, speckled gray hair. He's got this beautiful sealskin vest and coat on, shades, okay, sunglasses, and and a smile that stretches from ear to ear, obviously of Anouk descent. And he goes, "Gayatri, you did not tell me we would have friends." And under her breath, but she makes sure you can hear it, Gayatri goes, "That's George. He's the mayor." And you can just see her just kind of go, "Oh, welcome to the town. Welcome to the town. It's fair. We don't often get people coming to visit. I think this is what he is not acknowledging what's in front of him. I think it's wonderful. I assume you're staying with Gayatri, but we're going to have to figure a time for you to come over to the house so I can cook for you. I think this is wonderful. I'm sorry. Please allow me to introduce you, George Kasugak. I'm the mayor, and I love that you're here." And he's forcing his hand into yours, Jackie.
I take his hand and I do that thing that you do when you're like, you put your hand on top of theirs and like you bring him in nice and close, and then I go, "You're standing near a very large puddle of blood."
Oh, and he pulls his leg up. He goes, "Oh my goodness! There must be a moose or something. We'll get that cleaned up." And he goes right to you, Geraldine. He goes, "George, such a pleasure to meet you. You are."
I'm confused. Geraldine right now. Yeah. So you're excited that we're here. Nothing else is going on, right?
I'm so excited that you're here, and like I said, I'm sure you're getting. Abdul does an amazing job with cooking, but you just have to come over to the house and meet the wife. And oh my goodness! And for whatever reason, George's instinct is that you're a hugger, Elsie. So he comes in not with a handshake. He comes in to give you a big old.
Oh, I'm
hug.
gonna take a step back.
And,
I'm gonna keep a smile on my face the whole time.
Pleasure. George, I'm the mayor, and I think it's really nice that you're here. And he kind of gets the "don't touch me" vibe from you. He turns to Maud and he pauses and sees the look on your face. He doesn't try to hug you. He doesn't try to put his hand into yours. He goes, I'm so happy you're here, ma'am."
She grins at him, and any one of the Mavens will see that absolute like shark grin that she gets, and she walks over to him, loops her arm in his, and says, "I am thrilled. Now, why don't we go back in the cafe and you tell me all about this town?" And starts to move him straight towards the cafe without really giving him a chance to say.
I just want to get warm again. I'm like, give her that look like, oh, that was so smart. That was so smooth.
And you can tell, Maud, that he's startled at first, but then he is all in. He pulls you close and grabs right onto your arm too. And he goes, "Wait till you see his desserts. His desserts are unbelievable. Now, they're not my wife's desserts, but you are going to be." And we see Maud and we see George fading into the cafe.
Let's follow.
She has a
plan.
What?
The footsteps. We follow them, right? That's what
we're not going to question any of this, hon.
There were footsteps.
The big footsteps.
No, we're questioning. They left. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gayatri sees you.
She's
immediately.
Keeping him occupied.
Gayatri knows exactly what's happening here, and she goes, "This is why I asked you to come here." And she kind of steps backwards, And you see her pull out a little notebook and she starts to take notes as she's watching the three of you. What are the three of you doing?
I want to investigate the goddamn footsteps and see if the blood. God damn it.
So,
Gonna look at the
How
footprints.
can I not?
Where'd
Supposed
they
to
come
be
from?
vacation.
even before anybody realizes it, suddenly Geraldine's on one knee taking a look at things. So, Geraldine, let's do a meddling move. And I'm thinking this is with. What are we thinking here?
Reason?
Yeah, I like reason. Let's do a meddling move with reason.
Woo!
That's how we start an episode of Brindlewood Bay. So, Geraldine, you start looking at this thing, and you start realizing, like, under one of the footprints, there's something dark that's just under a slight layer of snow. And as you kind of take your gloved hand and push it away, you see an Inuit whalebone statue. And it's got leather wrapped around like maybe it was a necklace. So that is your first clue. It's a stolen artifact that has recently returned to the land it was taken from.
No, Craig, in our journal, I don't see a journal entry for this mystery.
You don't, because I forgot to make one for you. So I promise I will create one for you. But if not, if you want to just jot on a sheet of paper, or add it to one
I
of
was
the
gonna
ones
say,
there.
as the dedicated clue writer, I was like, hey,
I forgot to do that. And Geraldine, as you pull that up, I want to say Jackie recognizes this as being indigenous. This is not some sort of tchotchke that was created. This is very old, and I think Jackie, you recognize that immediately. What do you say to Geraldine as she's holding it in her hand?
Oh, those are common in rituals. We have enough bad. Put it down.
No, I'm going to keep it. Like,
No, don't keep it on you. Don't keep it on you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm getting one. Keep it. Yeah. Why not keep it? You're the
We're keeping
artifact
it.
person. Why would you
I
not
think
keep
I'm
it?
very superstitious.
What do you do,
It's
Geraldine?
fine. It's
Keeping it.
I'm gonna listen. This is all gonna be over one day for everyone anyway, and she's gonna slip it in her pocket.
And you do that, Geraldine. You slip it into your pocket, and you kind of look back down on the snow, and you've got snow is falling, and you kind of brush your gloves, the little accumulation that's just happened in the 5 seconds you've been standing there next to Jackie, and there's red on your gloves. There's melted blood, and you look up. The snow's not white anymore. You watch as the snow is blood red, and it's dropping on your hands and on your jacket and slowly covering you in blood.
Oh my god. Guys, it's raining blood on my leather jacket.
We're cutting to the cafe. Maud, you pull into the cafe with George. June is there going, is everything okay? George, is everything okay out there? Oh, June, everything is fine. The ladies out there are really just taken by the town. Is it possible for get to one more place setting? Would that be? Of course, George. Of course. Please sit. The phone rings, and June goes, I'm so sorry. He walks over to the phone and he goes, yeah, yes, no, okay. And he puts his hand over and he goes, is there a Maud McAllister here?
Yeah, how the hell? Yeah, that's me.
There's somebody asking for you.
She'll take the phone and, hello?
Where have you gone? Why did you leave?
Who is this?
It's getting worse here. You shouldn't have left. They're getting closer. You recognize the voice. It's somebody who has contacted you before. They have not revealed themselves to you. Why did you go?
She sighs and she says, "We got something we got to do. We'll be back as soon as we can."
I'm going to send you something. I hope it's not too late.
How do you know where I am?
Click. You
She'll
cut back out. Go ahead.
Oh,
No.
she'll put the phone down and just go, "This, I don't even know." And then turns around with the big smile right back to George, like nothing's happened.
Geraldine, just as you are realizing what's happening, just as you say the words out loud that I'm covered in blood, you look down and you're like, oh no, it's just snow. So that's your void clue for your critical success. For a moment, the sky seems to be filled with bloody snowflakes that are falling on top of you.
Jackie's immediately like, I'll just keep it. I'll put it in my pocket.
Stop. Did you say you were covered in blood?
It
You
was
told
for-
her to put it in her
for
pocket,
just
to
a
be fair.
second.
Well, yes, but nobody else saw blood.
To be fair here, we screamed out a lot of shit collectively that no one else seen.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. You're right.
Gayatri kind of tilts her head a little bit hearing this part of the conversation, and she goes, I'm gonna go check on Maud and George. Is that okay?
Yes. You go
Yep,
check
yep.
on Maud.
Yeah, great idea.
Oh,
In the warmth.
no. I think in that exact moment, Jackie realizes how strange we've all become, and as she's walking away, oh,
Not everybody
Elsie-
lives in the weird like the four of you.
True. Elsie's gonna reach in her bag and pull out a joint. And you're like, it's legal here.
How did you get that past custom?
What?
You know what? It's all
Don't
good.
ask.
Are we
Don't ask. Do
following
you
these
want-
foot tracks? Yeah.
Well, and Geraldine, you guys realize that these foot tracks don't go or come from anywhere. So
Oh.
it just looks like somebody with very large feet. And the tracks are such that like they could be wearing maybe they're barefoot, maybe they're moccasins. It's really hard to tell. It's just several footprints that are just surrounding this huge pool of blood, which is now fully iced over. Maud, George is sitting there. Uptool has already brought him a bowl of something, and he's slurping it up, and he goes, have you had the whale soup?
Not yet, but it sounds like we're gonna be here for a couple days, so I'm willing to try it at some point.
Uptool,
Let-
just a cup. Uptool, just a cup. She doesn't need a whole bowl. Just a little cup of it, please.
Let me ask you, honey. This place seems amazing, absolutely amazing.
It
But
is.
now, surely a place like this, a mayor like you has, I mean, you have got to have had some stories about overcoming adversity, right? In a place
This town has a history. This town definitely has a history.
Huh?
It now my people have been here for a very, very long time, and I will tell you that there are many of my older generational family that was not happy to see so many outsiders find this place and move in. But I think it's good. I think it's good for this town. It has brought jobs. Having somebody like Gayatri here, uh, really, I think adds a certain mystique and importance to this town. And I think it's been, I think it's I personally love what we have become.
Is there anything recent going on? Because like this is an interesting place. So, and I do love interesting things.
What has Gayatri told you?
Not much. Not much. Just
Meddling move.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think it's with composure. What do you think, Maud?
Absolutely. I will agree there. Um I told you she had a plan. With composure. All right. Oh, I don't. Why did it roll 3?
Probably because you still have advantage. So unmark it off of advantage up at the top.
Aha, there it is. All right, let's try it again.
Yep.
We don't need all those dice. Okay. Ooh, I am gonna. I don't have.
Crown?
I have plenty of crowns left. So
right,
I am going to pick a crown.
Pick a crown. We'll deal with it at the end of the episode. That's going to upgrade it to a mixed success.
Mm-hmm.
He says, yes. There is some strangeness that's been happening. We've had some pets go missing. I think a couple of the children are somebody's playing a joke. We've had 2 families who claim that their kids have been gone. I don't know if they've run away. I don't know exactly, what could be going on there. So yes, but I want to assure you that this is a wonderful place. There's land is cheap. I don't know if the 4 of you ladies would ever consider maybe having a vacation home here. Where are you from? This is gorgeous, by the way. And he marvels at the bracelet you're wearing.
Oh, she goes, well, I mean, originally I'm from Tennessee down south, but we live up in Brindlewood Bay, just up in the northeast. But listen, honey, my friends and I, we have a little bit of experience with, interesting things, and we're gonna make sure everything's okay. But if you know anything, just let me know.
Is that why
If you can help
Gayatri's
us out.
invited you up here? Is to help with
No,
with the missing children?
I think it just seems to follow us, honestly. Like it's wherever we go, weird things just happen. So, sometimes you
Are
end
there
up right
missing
where you're
children
supposed to
in
be.
what is the name of the town?
Brindlewood Bay?
Blackbird
No.
Bay? Brindlewood Bay. Is there children missing there too?
No, just a couple dead people.
Maud, as you're talking and he's talking,
gotten
you just instinctively, almost not even thinking about it, you peeled off your layers, obviously, as you
Mhm.
came inside and kind of hung your coat up on the peg by the door. And maybe you have a shawl that you took off as you've been sitting there and the warmth of the soup, the cup of soup that Abdul brought you. But as you're talking, just instinctively, you don't think about it. You kind of put your shawl back on again. And as you're talking, you're like, it is awfully cold in here. It runs through your head. And you look down at the little cup of soup that Abdul brought you, and there's a thin, frozen layer to it. This is your second clue, which is a sudden, deep freeze indoors. George goes, Abdul, I think the heat's out. And he starts putting his coat on. It is awfully cold in here. And Abdul, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, I will go back. I'll figure out what's happening. And he runs into the back. Do you feel it?
Yeah, and she's already kind of bundling up.
And almost as soon as you recognize how freaking cold it's gotten inside, almost like an instant. It's back to the normal temperature, and suddenly you're like, "Ooh, it's way too warm for this." And you take your shawl off, and you see him take his jacket off. Let's cut back outside to my other 3 mavens.
Okay, someone screamed. There has to
Right.
be a body somewhere, but there's no dragging marks, just a pool of blood.
And
Now,
footprints that go nowhere.
yes.
Maybe
Um,
it flew away. This is nonsense.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm
gonna
going
go
to
bang on
look up in the
doors.
sky.
Jackie's gonna go and like anybody who has their lights on the street, I'm banging on their door.
So there's a shop. It looks to be kind of a general store of some sort, and lights around. There's an open sign there.
I'll go in.
Little bell rings. This adorable woman who's older than like Maud's age, older. Adorable little woman. She could not be 4.5 feet tall. She comes around and she goes, "Oh, hello, hello, hello."
Oh, hi. I don't suppose you heard or saw anything strange out on the street just now, did you?
Huh?
Oh. no reserved, puts her hands around her mouth and like, did you hear or see anything out on the street?
Do I have anything on my feet? No, dear. I have nothing on my
I got you. I'm pulling out a notebook.
Anything on the street? No. Is there something on the street? And she tries to get around you.
I let her go because I got to write another note. So I'm asking her like who lives in this, who lives in the area.
Meddling move. What are we using here, do you think, Jackie? I don't feel like it's reason.
Lord.
Presence?
Let's do reason.
I don't feel like it's reason. I don't think you're trying to outsmart her. I think I'm
No.
thinking either presence, maybe sensitivity. I'm fine with either of those. I feel like it's more your charms.
Sensitivity.
You want to use sensitivity?
Let's do sensitivity. Maybe there's something weird going on.
Let's do a meddling move with
Oh,
sensitivity.
I won't like that.
So you put the paper up to her and she kind of just pushes it away. You hear the ding, 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 ding as the general store opens up, and she's grabbed her coat and she's waddling outside. She turns around and she goes, "There's a pool of blood out there."
meh.
And she kind of waddles up to the two of you, to Geraldine and Elsie, and we see Jackie in the background at the doorway of the general store, and she goes, "Are the two of you okay?"
Meh. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
She looks down and she goes, "Well, I mean, if you got a wolf, it looks like this. That's a lot of blood."
Have you gutted a wolf?
"Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. No, but my father used to gut wolves."
Wow.
Can I find a stick and kind of poke the pool of blood to see if anything's in there besides liquid?
You can. You go grab a stick and you bring it over, and as you right before the stick hits there, this little woman goes, "No, no, 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 no."
No.
And you see she turns down. She says something in a language you do not recognize. She goes, "Okay."
Okay, now I poke it.
This is definitely gonna be with sensitivity. Let's get a little meddling move with sensitivity.
Ooh.
All right.
Come on.
Let's go. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Okay.
That's
Not
So
bad.
I need a little bit more details. The woman stops you. You pause. She says whatever she said. What are you doing with this stick exactly?
so I'm so first I'll like push it in and I'm going to try to, and it's harder because it's icing over, and I'm going to try to wade it around using both my hands to try to find if something solid is in there.
It's not had enough time to get a thick layer, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
got that brittle, just frozen layer that chips as soon as you put the stick through it, and you see the fresh, yet to be frozen blood under it in this pool. And as you're kind of stirring it,
Yeah, like think like
Slushy.
a witch. Yeah, like slushing it around.
A blood slushy.
you hit something. Something causes the stick to stop.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna try to like pry. I'm gonna like kind of tell the nice little old lady who's older than me, amazing, to kind of move back some.
And she waddles back.
Waddle back. And I kind of want to like, I don't know, pry it up.
You start to lift it up. It's small. It can't be. It's something that would fit in your hand.
Mhm.
It strains the stick. It's a lot heavier than it looks.
Oh God. Okay. Hey,
And
can
you see
I get some help?
the stick is bowing as you pull it up. Geraldine and Elsie, you look at this thing. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to tell you the clue. What you're looking at is a piece of undefinable technology that almost looks alien. I will let the two of you, or eventually later, the four of you, decide exactly what this thing is. But what you're looking at is not of this world. And you recognize that immediately.
Why us?
Whoa.
Let's go.
The woman goes, no, and she turns around. She starts walking towards Jackie.
That is the best reaction any of us have had to any of this. That's what we should have done at the very
From the
beginning.
start at this. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is
Do
it?
you want to take this? I don't know. I'm gonna.
I don't.
Is
So
there like a
what's really odd is that though the thing was pulled out of blood, almost like it has like a Teflon surface, it takes 2 seconds for all the blood to fall right off of it. It is clean at the end of the stick.
I'm grabbing it and tossing it in Elsie's bag.
Oh, wait! I'm gonna pull out a big wad of Kleenex first.
It's
No.
clean.
You don't know that. It might look clean. It doesn't mean
Fine.
it is.
Fine. Okay.
Put it in the tissue and I'm
Here, it's in the
wrap
tissue.
it up
In the tissue.
and then put it into my bag. I've had like the joint hanging out of the side of my mouth.
So Jackie, our little store owner, waddles herself up to you, and she doesn't ask permission. It happens before you realize it. She puts her hand kind of on your chest, and she says a few words in a language you've never heard before. And then she kind of gives you a grandmotherly pat and waddles herself back into the store.
I'm gonna catch it back up with the girls. I think that if there's time, I might pay her another visit to get like the scoop on the old stories, because I'm sure she's got a lot of stories. But in the meantime, they found some juicy alien tech.
Best kind of tech to find.
Right.
Let's cut back into the cafe. Maud, you are there. Things have warmed up again. Abtul comes out and goes, everything looks fine. It feels okay to me. And George is just like, well, that's strange. He's back off and slurping his soup.
I think Maud is looking out the cafe to see what everybody else is doing. And I imagine this is probably about the time that they're like splashing around in the blood. And she just sighs a little bit. And she says, I guess I should probably get out there and see how they're doing.
And George is like, no, of course. And he's kind of wiping his mouth. And as soon as he gets his mouth clean, he immediately starts going back right into it. And just the soup is going. And
Yeah.
as you get up, Abtul comes over and he goes, I'm not going to serve any more food until you get here because he'll eat it.
No, you're perfectly fine, honey.
But
It
you're all
was
coming back,
delicious.
right?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. And she heads out the door. Actually, I think the first thing she does is look for Miss Gupta.
Miss who?
Our
Gayatri.
Yeah, Gayatri. That's it. Yeah.
Gayatri's is heads down right outside the door and furiously taking notes in her little notepad. And she goes, I'm so sorry, Maud. George is a lot.
You know, I got what I needed from him. Don't worry about it. How are they doing out there?
Looks like they've been fooling around with it. I assume this is their process. Do you tell me? And she flips the page over. She goes, what is your process? So when you are finding something as strange as a pool of blood in the center of a street, what do the murder mavens do first?
She kind of smiles and she says, well, you ever skinned up your knee and you get that like scab on it and you know you're not supposed to pick at it, but you just keep going back? Well, that's kind of what we do. We just keep on picking. We just keep on picking until we reveal what's underneath.
Would you consider yourself obsessive?
I mean, if you'd ever had any Elsie's bacon, you would be obsessed over it, I promise. But no, I wouldn't say we're obsessive.
We're absolutely obsessive. Does anyone around here have cameras?
That's
I mean, I have some cameras back at the cabin.
No, security cameras.
Oh, no, honey. No. We don't have security cameras here.
Not for watching wildlife or anything? Bears, wolves, whales, whatever comes through town?
Now, if you were to go through those woods there and head towards the lake, you might find a couple. I mean, I would imagine some of the hunters probably have some cams, some wildlife cams.
Ladies, let's go freeze that way.
Maud is glaring daggers at you.
Yes, let's go.
She looks over. Do you happen to at least have some flashlights before we go?
1 minute. Let me go check with Elderwise. So she goes across the street to the general store and she comes out with 4 flashlights. She goes, I have a tab with Elderwise here. And she just hands each of you a flashlight.
Ooh.
Now, is the scab a metaphor?
That's a very good question. Yes. And she starts walking into the woods.
So she said, Maud says that the.
I'm sorry, she started walking. We gotta go.
Sorry.
And Maud calls back and says, Jackie, I just want you to know that if I get eaten by a bear, I am haunting you for the rest of your life.
Oh, good. I won't be lonely that way.
So the 4 of you go behind the buildings on that side of the street. There's a thick pine forest. It is 8 o'clock, but it feels like 2 a.m. It's pure darkness, except for the 4 flashlights cutting through that darkness. But the flashlights, you just see the glitter of snow falling in the rays as they beam out. You can hear the cracking of the ice of the lake as you start working your way out. And I think you maybe walk 100 yards or so. No cams or anything, no footprints, just all fresh snow. Maud, it's getting like knee deep now. Like I don't I don't want to make you mad, but I think your socks are starting to get wet even.
Oh yeah, she's furious and mumbling,
Yeah.
just grumbling the whole time.
Look, you don't have to worry about the bears. We're gonna freeze to death.
That's such a better way.
Gentle, it's gentler.
You get out and the tree's clear and you can see this beautiful, some might call it a lake, some might call it a pond. You figure it might be about a half a mile in diameter. Not only completely iced over, but layers of snow on top of it. The only real reason you really know that it's a body of water is because it is perfectly flat, right? So you can see the ground coming off the forest on there. What stands out though is the little hut, the little tiny outhouse sized building that prominently stands in the middle of this lake. Obviously an ice fishing hut of some sort.
Fishing.
Did you say it's a trap? For who?
I'm not walking across that ice. We just heard it cracking. It's not happening.
My husband used to go ice fishing back home. We had a pond out back, and when it would freeze over, he'd go out and build him a little. It wasn't as fancy as this, but it was enough.
I think, Elsie, your familiarity with ice fishing, as you're saying that, makes you recognize the small tin chimney and the wisps of smoke coming out from the hut.
Yeah, there's someone out there keeping warm. Oh, come on.
You got a boat?
It's
But
ice.
it's ice. If they can fish on it, we can walk
I'll
across.
tell you
it.
what, you put me in a boat and you can pull me across the ice.
Oh my gosh.
I'll wait for you over
Geraldine will
here.
go with me.
I will
I'll
go
look
with
for
you.
cameras.
Of course. Good idea. You and Maud.
Mud,
Buddy
you don't want to
system.
go out on that, right?
Maud digs around in the snow for a minute, picks up a rock, like a pebble, and tosses it across the ice. And it makes that very weird wow, 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 wow sound all the way across. And she goes, nope.
Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, come on.
Fine. Don't live.
So it sounds like I've got Maud and Jackie standing on the
As long
beach.
as I'm older than all of y'all.
And it sounds like Elsie and Geraldine are going to step out onto the ice. Am I picking up this right?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Start to walk. And the crunch of snow gets enhanced by the crunch of ice. And you can hear a sound that you're familiar with, Elsie. Again, with your familiarity with ice fishing, you can tell this is probably safe. The sounds for somebody maybe like Geraldine are a little disconcerting because it makes that crackling groan sound of fresh ice. But you can tell, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
used
is-
to bring Owen his lunch out here. That's right.
you work your way out and start walking towards this ice fishing hut. And as you get closer, you realize it's maybe a little bit bigger than you realized. It might be a good like 15 foot by 15 foot. Like this is a serious ice
That's
fishing
very
hut.
impressive. Yeah.
It's got a huge, large red maple leaf painted on the side, the Canadian maple leaf. You can see the smoke coming out of the chimney. As you work your way there, there's a door. And Elsie, as you're looking at it, you can tell that this thing is built to be taken apart, right? It's taken apart. It's probably put on a sled, stored when the ice is not there. But as soon as that ice freezes up, they pull that thing out of storage, build it here in the middle of the lake.
We'll go. Are we just gonna
Do we
go knock
not?
on the door?
I
Yeah.
guess so. Like we're already
That's a
here.
polite thing to do, right? What would Jackie
can-
do?
She would climb through their window first.
Oh, that's true. Maybe not the best.
After she saw dead people's mirror.
All right, maybe just the door. Maybe just the door.
Okay.
We'll go up to it and I'll give it a knock.
The one thing that was great about the forest, even though it made things feel a little claustrophobic and a lot darker than when you were near the ambient light of just the town, is that out here out in the middle of the ice is the wind. And it is a Canadian northern wind that doesn't seem to give a damn about the layers you're wearing. It just spikes through every layer of clothing, and you can just feel it just hitting your skin from the direction that it's coming. You get to the door. No answer.
Okay, we might have to do the Jackie thing.
We
I'm gonna
could just
knock again.
See if the door's open.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I imagine Elsie wearing this big, like patchwork kind of coat that makes her look just like a triangle as she kind of shuffles across the ice.
You leave kind of this wide trail in the snow
You
as
know
you're
what
walking.
I'm talking about, don't you?
like something out of a Tim Burton movie, right? With
Yeah.
the wide.
Yeah.
I totally see it.
Oh, that's great.
I'm gonna give it a little push. Yeah.
It's not even latched.
Hello.
So we hear the sound as it scrapes against the ice. You can see immediately in the far corner this little portable camping wood stove. The red of the burning coals that are inside of it fill up the inside of this ice cabin. Also, you see the hole, the fishing hole, cut perfectly in the center. There's metal tables up against one of the walls, and you can see the tools that would be used to clean fish. You can see the buckets of water that's kept close to the stove so it doesn't freeze over, where they could drop the fish in as they catch them. But I need to paint the scene with the two of you. I'm going to start with you, Geraldine. What evidence is there that the fishing hut has very recently been vacated?
Oh, you see leftover whittling tools, as if when someone's like working on like a wooden sculpture, it's just you don't see what they were making there, but maybe like a leftover shaving tool from the kit that they just forgot about, and it's just on the ground on the ice, forgotten about.
And I think, if it's okay with you, Geraldine, the reason you know that it was just recently vacated is some of the shavings are floating in the water of this fishing hole. And as you look at them, you can see them start to sink.
Yes.
So that's how you know that this just happened. Elsie, what do you notice? What evidence do you see that the fishing hut has just recently been vacated?
There is a open can of beans on the top of the wood stove where it's been set to heat up to have as a quick meal or snack.
And as you come closer to that wood stove, you realize the warmth that's coming from the stove, which, when the ice is this thick, and you can see how thickly frozen, it's over a foot thick, the ice, that there's no concerns about having a wood stove here. It'll never melt as fast as things are freezing. But if someone were to put a can on there 5 minutes ago, it's warm and it would be bubbling. You come over to that can and you put your hand over it and you realize this thing hasn't been there long, because even the can is not hot to the touch yet.
This was like seconds ago.
Maybe this is a person that got puddled.
Puddled.
like the blood puddle. The
Oh, maybe. But that was a while ago. Somebody was in here just a second ago. I'm going to look down. I'm going to shine my flashlight down into the hole in the ice and see
A
if there's
meddling
anything down
move,
there.
and you can do it with reason or sensitivity. It's up to you.
This is a weird one. I think I'm going to do it with sensitivity.
Excellent. Let's do a meddling move with sensitivity as you shine your flashlight into the fishing hole. You see nothing unless...
Oh, man. Unless, indeed. Oh. No. I'm going to let it go.
So the biggest thing that you take away from looking at this is whomever made this little fishing hut, whoever cut the hole, is somebody who is really good at this. They obviously have some sort of power tool that would cut through this ice. This isn't a hut from some tourist or some casual fisherman. This is somebody who takes things very, very seriously, and it's the quality and the perfection of the circumference of the cut. It's the tools laid out on the table for cleaning fish. Everything tells you that whoever's responsible for this takes this very, very seriously.
Where's the...
You just wait.
Sure.
See if
Fishing
somebody comes
rod?
back up. Yeah, is there a fishing rod? That's a good question.
Geraldine, as soon as you say that, you do see the fishing rod. And being a city girl, maybe you expected like a piece of like huckleberry fin stick with string tied at the end. This is a no joke $300 rod and reel, and it's laying on the floor, and the line is still going into the water.
I kind of want to pick it up and reel it in.
Yes,
Do it,
yes.
do it, do it.
I fully support you.
Just, wow,
So you
when in
grab the rod,
Rome.
and you pull it up, and it stops you.
Oh,
It's the other
shit.
way.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I mean the line goes taut.
Oh,
Ooh.
see, is this supposed to happen? Like,
Oh,
And now we hear that sound as the gain on the reel
mhm.
tells you something's pulling.
oh shit.
I've only seen this on TV. Okay, I got this.
How fast is it pulling?
Fast enough that there's something alive at the other end.
Holy shit. Pull, Jeremy, go.
Okay, I'm
Come
trying.
on.
I'm trying.
Come on.
All right, we're gonna need another meddling move. This one is easy though. This meddling move is definitely going to be with vitality.
I'm gonna help her hold on to the pole.
Okay. Wow, okay.
Okay.
So you start pulling this thing in, and have you ever fished before, Geraldine?
She watched her husband fish. It was, yeah.
You flash back
I
to that wonderful vacation that the two of you saved up for to the Bahamas, and he insisted on doing deep sea fishing. We're gonna get a boat, we're gonna get a captain, and honey, we're gonna do this. And he was all suited up. He was in his chair that was almost like a obstetrician's chair, right? With straps the legs in, and it's got the holder in the middle there and the huge reel. And you remembering that as you are fighting what's on the other side of this.
And I'm telling Elsie this. Oh,
you
can do
start.
You can do it.
Go ahead.
I'm just encouraging. Come on, fight it. Come on, Geraldine.
I'm trying. I only watch somebody else do this. This is not for me.
It's your first fish. This is going to be great.
So it fights you. It fights you. You see the shadow of it in the water as it swims past and pulls the line again as it's trying to not. It doesn't want to come where it's being pulled.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it stops fighting. Suddenly it's a lot easier to reel it in. What comes out of the water almost looks alien to you, Geraldine, but to Elsie, she knows exactly what it is. It's a northern pike. This is an ugly, prehistoric looking fish. But Elsie knows this is totally normal, right? For this part of the world, and this part of Canada. And it's got just these gnarled, toothy mouth, and you can see the hook that's hooked it. And it's a good 4 foot long. It's a big fish, and as the body comes out of the water, it's not moving, and you very quickly realize why. There is a huge bite taken out of this fish in its stomach. Its entire stomach has been torn from its body. And based off of the guts that are pouring out of this gash, you now know why it stopped fighting, because this just happened. So here's your clue, which is a small dead creature frozen through with a huge bite taken out of it.
It's frozen? Oh, shit. What the... Whoa.
Geraldine, how you feeling?
What? This is not what happened on our Bahamas trip.
No, this doesn't
Is this
happen.
normal, Elsie?
No.
They don't
I
come
mean-
pre-bitten, right?
I'm not the
don't
I'm
come
not
free-
really the fishy.
Pre-bitten.
I wasn't the fisher. That was Owen. That wasn't really my thing, but no would be my guess.
Frozen?
No.
Geraldine, can you give yourself the condition freaked out, please?
Yeah.
All right, so quick check on where we are. We've got Maud and Jackie out on the beach just off the water. We've got Geraldine and Elsie fishing, and they caught a fish. We've got 4 clues towards our question. Is this a monster or a human that's causing these disappearances? We've got a stolen artifact recently returned to the land. It was this little bone necklace that we found. We have a sudden deep freeze indoors. We have a piece of unidentifiable technology that looks strange and alien-like. And now we have a small dead creature frozen through with a bite taken out of it. I want to cut out to the coast. We see Maud and Jackie looking out at this hut where Elsie and Geraldine have disappeared into.
We didn't see anyone leave the hut, right? So, ooh, juicy. Yeah, if it's looking that after they got across safe, I stopped watching with the expectation that they were going to go under any second, and
I've seen this movie.
No, I turned them on. I'm like, okay, we need to search these trees. Look for any little lights. The kind of cameras that they use out in these trees, they're not wired. The tape would be inside the camera. Maybe we'll get lucky, and there's some what do you call it? Little hunters use them. I don't know. I don't hunt, but you know what I'm talking about. Little cameras so that they can watch game
Trail
trails.
cams?
Yes.
Yeah. There should be something if there's anything. And Maud kind of looks around for a minute, and she is specifically looking for an entrance way that would be like a game trail entrance way. Having grown up in the mountains, she kind of knows instinctively where to look.
Yeah, I feel like
and
your
kinda start-
heritage kind of kicks in a little bit, Maud,
Yeah.
right? Because hunting trails and trail cams, you're like, oh, maybe this isn't as cold and as foreign as I thought it was. Maybe this is similar to just being up in the mountains, you know.
We're country girls.
Yeah,
Okay.
hunting cat,
Be
right?
Maud.
So
Yeah.
Maud, we're definitely going to do a meddling move, and I
Mhm.
think it'll be with reason. Before that, I need a night move,
Ooh. Okay.
because as you start getting focused on figuring out what a trail is, you hear a noise. You are not alone in these woods. And you turn around and you realize just how far away from Jackie you've walked. I think I need a night move with composure. But
Okay.
before you roll it, what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail this roll and lose your composure?
I'm afraid that whatever it is going to show up between me and Jackie.
I think it's definitely going to show up between you and Jackie, but it's worse than that. Because whatever it is isn't looking for you. It's going to go after Jackie.
Of course it is.
I need a night
Okay.
move with composure.
Composure. Oh, it's not my day. I'm definitely gonna throw a crown on if I can in one turn.
So you see a shadow, and the only reason you know this thing moved between you and Jackie is because you stop for a second seeing Jackie's flashlight, and then all of a sudden you see it again, and you realize that it's something slid past you. And is it? I don't know if something's breaking branches, something's walking. Is it here? Is it behind you?
She's just looking in every direction to see if she can figure out what's going on. And I think she, you can hear her muttering to herself, "Stupid girl, being out in the woods, not even a 22 on you." And I think she starts just beelining back towards Jackie.
How you feeling, Maud?
Scared. I think she's doesn't want anything to happen to Jackie. She's not necessarily worried about herself. She's worried about Jackie.
Let's go ahead and add the condition scared for me. You start working your way through. I do still need a meddling move with reason, though. This is going to be you looking around, you running back towards Jackie. Give me a meddling move with reason.
Moves. Meddling reason. Okay.
You start running towards Jackie. Jackie, as soon as you said, like, could it be like those cams? They could be like, and Maud was like, it's a honey cam. I got it. Right. She's gone. You're standing there, but now you hear her running towards you. And you see her flashlight moving.
You got down. It's dark. Don't fall. Oh. I'm like shining the light like in her so she could see where she's, helping her see where she's running.
Maud, how are you keeping your footing? What are you doing?
I think she just, it's like you said, it's almost like those instincts kick in, even though it's been like, 50 years. And she's just finding like the places where she can put her feet. She's looking at like, this is a snowbank. I'm staying out of the snow. And
Maud, if it's a bear, you're supposed to turn around and walk backwards slowly.
I think she looks at Jackie and says, "Just get your ass out on the ice now."
Oh no.
I know. Just go.
So Maud breaks through the pines and you see her. The look on her face tells you that she has seen or felt something. She looks truly frightened, which, considering everything you have been through with her up to this point, I don't know if you've ever seen this face on Maud before.
She's very composed.
Yeah.
No, I think I see that look on her face, and I'm like, oh, okay. So as soon as she catches up, then I start moving out onto the ice. But I think I'm still being very I don't like the ice. I'm not running across the ice. I'm not booking it across the ice. Like, there's just very careful steps. Like, you sure? I don't see anything.
There's probably a point where Maud overtakes her, like is already suddenly like, and just kind of reaches out and grabs her and just starts pulling.
Oh man, they can hear from the hut the screaming as Jackie's like, "Mom's killing me! She's gonna kill me! Let me go!"
As soon as you're first on the ice, Jackie, Maud is second. And Maud, as soon as you reach Jackie, both of you realize just how loud your footprints are. How loud it is just by sheer walking through the crunch of this fresh snow. And when you both stop for a second, the quiet takes over a little bit. There's no wind. There's no crunching snow. There's no branches rubbing up against each other as a gale pushes its way through the pine forest. But there's laughter. Oh. 3 voices? 4? It's definitely children. And as soon as it all registers, it's gone. We have our 5th clue.
Maud, were you running from a group of children?
A child's eerie laughter carries in the wind.
You brought me out on the ice because of a pack of wild children.
Maud will grab her by the shoulders, look at her, and go, "Listen to me. If you hear children laughing in the woods, it's a bad sign. That ain't no children." And she is headed towards the hut.
Oh. Maud starts working towards the hut, Jackie.
Oh, she was dragging me. I got no choice. I've been fighting the tide the whole time.
I think instinctively you follow the path that hasn't completely snowed over that was made by Elsie and Geraldine. About a third of the way there. Another gust of wind comes by. God, I could swear I heard that laughter again. But it wasn't as clear. It didn't ring in your ear the exact same way. And you know that hut's getting closer. But it'd be great if it got closer a little faster as you're working your way across the ice. And you hear the crunch as your feet are working this fresh snow. And you hear the groan of the ice that's supporting you as you're working towards the ice hut. And then you hear the crack. Jackie trips first because the flat ice cracks and trips both of you. You fall into the snow. You feel the hardness and the coldness of the ice. You hear the second crack as your bodies hit the surface of this lake. I'm going to need 2 night moves to start episode 10. We're going to go to credits.
No!
I missed this table.
Me too.
God, I miss playing this game with the four of you. I really, really did. I really, really did. Let's start with you, Navi. Glad you're feeling better.
Oh, thank you.
We missed you. There is a day where I'm going to talk you and your husband into playing the zone with me because I think that the two of you would take that game to a place that we haven't seen it go to. But we had to do stars and wishes. This was a very different than I think anything we've done before. So what sticks out as your stars?
Oh my gosh, stars. There's a lot to love with this episode. I think that I don't know, there's just like a lot of fun moments and vignettes, but I think absolutely there at the end, Maud grabbing Jackie and dragging her onto the ice while she's like kicking and screaming, and then the ice breaks, and then like it was really beautifully set up that actually came to pass, because so often those moments are just they were worried but it didn't happen. You're like, oh, they're worried, yeah, that's happening. That was beautiful. Waiting to see how dead we are next session.
Super dead.
Speaking of dead, or how dead you are, the other thing I'm going to ask each of you is how many crowns we have left. So what is I remember, Jackie, you have a lot of crowns. How many do you have left unmarked?
9.
Oh, you're in easy peasy. Yeah. You're all set. You're going to coast through this. And you did not mark one this episode. Is that right? Or did you mark one? I don't think you did. Okay.
I had to use my Maven move.
That's right. All right. Talk to me about wishes. What are you wishing for as we're getting towards the tail end of Brindlewood Bay?
Oh, I don't know. I wish for us to play another game.
Yes.
Yeah, top secret. There was some talk before the show started of having the 5 of us reunite for a game run by Maeve. We're just going to leave it at that. We'll see if it happens. Stay tuned, but it might be not the last time you see us.
My directorial debut on the
Shadika. Oh, you started off the episode with a ton of drama. I think that was one of my favorite parts. Was Jack with Navi pulling out that move, and it just all was super cinematic. But I want to know your stars.
Oh, definitely that part, because at a certain point I was looking at my crowns. I have 9 of them, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I might just have to get deep throated by this tree root and just kind of let it happen. Like,
a sentence you never thought you'd say.
Right?
Wow.
And then Navi came out of left field and saved me, and I was like, I owe you my life. Thank you. So that was definitely in my top, but there were so many amazing moments, which made it hard. But I have to give Navi the flowers, of course.
How do you feel about the shift in tone, right? So we've gone from Murder, She Wrote to like True Detective Night Country season 4 here. Like, how does that feel for you?
I think it feels with this group, the cast and the characters, it feels right.
Got it.
It feels like there's no hard, like in Barbarian, there's no hard tonal shift out of nowhere. It just feels like it fits well as like a side scenario, if that makes sense.
It does. And I will tell you, for those keepers that are watching, as you go through and look at the different sweeps weeks that are out there, by the way, if you're not on Jason's and the Gauntlets Patreon, do it, because this is where I got this from. This was a Patreon sweeps week mystery, and worth I pay a couple shekels a month for it. But they all have a lot more weird than our murder mysteries do. So this is a great like mystery before the finale, which I know that these Mavens are like, I mean, they're at 12 of void clues. At 15 we do the final mystery until Maeve decided to take the Fox Mulder move, which means it now happens at 14. So they're only 2 clues away from triggering the final mystery. I just think Sweeps Week tonally fits really great, like right before the finale.
Definitely ramps up
Oh.
the weird.
It does. It does.
Like I like it. I'm like,
Shadika,
ooh.
what are you wishing for in the next couple episodes? We're running out of them.
That we don't run out of episodes, but that we all go out with a bang. That's my wish, because I'm happy. I'm just sad it has to end.
I think we're definitely having fun. All
Yeah.
right, Maeve, what were your stars?
You know what? I have to give you credit, Craig, for accents. You did accents without feeling like they were stereotypes or
I try
like,
not
you
to.
know,
I try so hard.
cartoony. And
Thank you.
and I appreciated that. So my stars go to Craig for convincing but not cartoonish accents.
Not typical cis white male accents.
I've already used that once tonight.
Right.
No, I appreciate that, because it is tough, right? Because I want it to be clear, you know, that Abtul is of you know, Eastern Indian descent. I want it to be clear that outside of our author, that this is a indigenous place, and that the majority of the people that live here are indigenous, you know, descendants of indigenous people. And I don't want it to sound like a cartoon. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you realize, Maeve, what a huge compliment that is, because that was something I was super conscious of. So thank you. You get to live.
Rest of us are on the bubble.
Okay.
We're drowning.
How about wishes, Maeve? What are you wishing as we're running out of episodes?
I am just wishing for the weird to increase. I've enjoyed our slow move up into it, but now that we're in the home stretch, I'm really enjoying the fact that like it's just, and that all of the characters are just sort of leaning into the weird at this point. Like we've all gone native as far as like how, you know, bizarre this is, and just said, okay, yeah, we're up for it. Whatever you got. Like none of us hesitated when she was like, yeah, there's a weird mystery here. And we're like, of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see
It
the
is
crows?
everywhere all
Let
the
me
time.
tell you about what we just dealt with back home.
Oh, last but not least, Ames. Stars.
Yeah. Oh, my star tonight is gonna go to Maeve over there. Maud knew that this dude needed to be out of our way and absolutely came in clutch for us to work unencumbered.
I love how we've learned
She's
this
no
about
spring
Maud.
chicken.
Yeah, like Maud is like, I don't have to be the one doing it, but I'm going to make sure you got room to do it. Like we've seen Maud do
You
this a
do
few
it.
times. I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed Maeve discovering Maud. And I feel like every episode we get another nuance of a part of Maud that Maeve is discovering. I think it's happening to all of you, but like there's little detail, and this is why Maeve is Maeve. Maeve has a real talent for finding little details that flesh out her character, and I'm with you. I'm with you. What are you wishing for,
Well,
Ames?
thank
Like a
you.
lot, a lot. For the game that never ends. I just want to play this like on and on and on and on. Like it's so much fun. I'm waiting for the amp on the weirdness as well too, because I like a bit of creepy. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's, you know, we're moving closer and closer and closer.
The train has
Uh,
definitely
it's-
left the
it's-
station. We're headed
it's
towards
exciting.
our destination. I agree.
I'm very
My
excited.
star is a little nuanced, but it is I think it was by far the biggest moment for me. It was Jackie realizing how fucked up their world has become. When Jackie
Yeah.
saw the reaction of our author as she walked away, and Navi being able to inhabit Jackie and go, we've gotten way too used to this. Like, I just thought that was a perfect moment, an acknowledgement of a reality.
It was good.
That was my star by far, because it just, we can forget the world doesn't see melting people in the back of an alleyway at a bookstore, right?
No,
So,
I
yeah.
love that it happened so organically amongst the characters as well, so that it was genuinely a moment of surprise of like, oh right, this isn't normal to everyone else.
Right.
It was very cool. And
Oh, no.
wishes is that I'm able to fulfill your wishes. That's what I when you guys give me wishes, I
You
listen,
will.
and I try to do it. Yeah, there's something's not right in this town.
Uh,
And I think when we get to episode 10, we're gonna really start uncovering it. We have got 5 of our clues on a complexity 4. The big question we need to answer is this human or is this beast? Who put on
Well,
crowns?
one.
I
Nobody.
did.
Mata.
2 of
I
them.
thought so. I know I had at least one. So, Maeve, what'd you mark?
So I marked a scene in the present day showing how you satisfy your physical desires. And then I also marked
Ooh.
right.
Spicy.
Then I also marked a shadow in the garden. Hereafter, during cozy vignettes focused on you or cozy move scenes involving you, you must also narrate how dark entities subtly reveal themselves in the scene. And I like this because Maud has, up until that last episode, Maud has like resisted. But now, kind of like how we were talking about how some of her like, the Appalachian girl exists in her once that floodgates open, she's
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm recalling this and I'm remembering how we deal with it, and I don't like
Paints and
it.
boogers. Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Yeah.
sin boogers. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're not going to want to miss the next episode because we're going to resolve these night moves. But I'm likely going to smash cut us to cozy vignettes back at the cabin. And I cannot wait to see Maud's cozy vignette for tomorrow morning. All right, so but you need to narrate something for us. I'm going to force
Yeah.
you to read it again. What is the crown?
A
that you
scene in the
marked?
present day showing how you satisfy your physical desires.
The stage is yours.
So, the stage is not in Maud's house. The stage is actually during one of our meetings where the girls are all around and we're talking about our books and everybody's excited and the 3 of them are kind of like, paying attention, and we've had a little like light treat because Elsie always treats us well. But then Maud suddenly pushes away. She makes sure nobody sees her because I think Maud is genuinely the sneakiest of the group. Like, Jackie doesn't have subtlety. Geraldine's not really. Maud is the sneakiest. And so she's moved away. She slipped her way into the kitchen and she, watching, is eating like 3 brownies. Like, literally just like eating like 1, 2, 3 brownies, kind of peeking up. She doesn't want them to know. She like cleans off the plate, puts the plate back. Like, it's like she was never there outside of 3 brownies are missing. And she eats them with the gusto of just like they are the most amazing thing she's ever had. Like, this is unbelievable. And then she brushes off all the crumbs and slides back into the conversation, and no one is ever the wiser that she left.
Why does Maud feel the need to hide that from the other women?
I think that it's because it makes her.
I hate your effing internet.
Oh no.
let's give her a half second to come back. In the meantime, I am jonesing for some juicy, yummy D&D content. I don't know, Amy, if you have any recommendations.
A few, actually, if you give me a second. You can check out me right here. I'm going to be here on Tuesday. It's going to be awesome playing Limelight. You can catch me on my channel over at Endless Night Gaming NC. If you're not too busy here, of course. I'm there every Monday playing Tales from the Yawning Portal, and every couple of weeks I run Curse of the Witchlight. So subscribe and follow, and you can see when I do things.
So I've been enjoying this, and I've made this joke a few times. If I'm enjoying a D&D actual play, it means it's a really good actual play.
Ow.
You know what that?
I'm gonna tee you
Time
up
out.
again, Maeve. What do you think? What is your guess why I'm enjoying your actual play when really the last thing I'm going to watch is a D&D actual play? Why do I enjoy yours?
Because it's me?
Okay.
I don't know.
And go for
And
it.
I have awesome players.
Dika?
Because the table and the DM has absolute magnetic chemistry that
not agree
happens
more.
between them.
Could not agree more. It is, so you're talking to the preacher of System Matters. I am a huge believer in that. And the only thing that matters a little bit more is the table. And what you're doing proves that, is that even in a system that I don't care for, you guys have a great table and you're running a great game.
Stop.
Maud, I hit
I
you
don't
with
know
a
how to go.
huge wrecking ball. Or Maeve, not Maud.
You're
So
good.
Maeve, why do you think Maud feels the need to hide this from the other women?
It's because there's always so many jokes about like her sex life and her like that's what the last thing she wants to do is like reveal any actual indulgences. She doesn't mind the jokes and she doesn't mind the laughs and the hints, but she doesn't ever want anyone to see that she is like lost that composure, that she is like actually craving something.
So it sounds like this has been part of Maud's life for a while. When was the first time Maud felt shame for indulging?
It happened after she was married to her first husband, which was the first time she was rich. The first time he was rich, and she had grown up so poor that when he was like, it took her a while for him to be like, we have things. You don't need to hide things. You don't need to store things. We don't need to shop here. We can go to Bloomingdale's. We can go to Macy's. We can do all of that. And it took her several years for her to be able to like accept that, to really truly accept that like she can do things. And when every once in a while, when she does, she looks at it and she's like, this isn't who I should be. This isn't, this is indulgent. This is, shameful. There are people, who don't have anything. And here I am with a, $300 blouse on.
It's a nice blouse though. All right. I love you guys. We're going to be back in just a couple weeks. See everybody soon.
All right. Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.